My questions follow on from last estimates in relation to the impacts of flooding on South Australia. And on the last occasion, Mr McConville, it was too early for you to give me a proper update on the impact of the floods. We discussed the aeration facility of Rufus River. You outlined that there was a review of the system's operations and you expected to have outcomes for this estimates. And we enjoyed the company of Dr Banks, who enlightened me on the evaluation reports. So I'm interested in those and possible impacts on marine communities. So those things we touched upon. I was wondering if you could update me for the benefit of South Australia.
Thanks, Senator. So we've done an evaluation of impacts on infrastructure. Of course, the impacts are widespread, and many of that, much of that is around roads and things like that. So we, as the MDBA, have not quantified that. It's not our infrastructure. Within the River Murray infrastructure that we're responsible for, the quantum of damage is in the order of $12 to $13 million, which in the overall scheme of things is pretty modest given the size of the floods. We've been progressively remediating that. The system is back so that we can operate and regulate the system as we need to. There are still some outstanding works to effect repairs, but we're able to release water and deliver water as we need from that respect. The flood review that I spoke about, Ministerial Council asked us to conduct that review. We've been working through settling a terms of reference with the states. As has been mentioned a couple of times today, there are other reviews commissioned by others also happening, and we want to make sure that the scope of what we do doesn't duplicate or overlap that. So at this stage we are preparing information to support that review. We haven't commenced any public dialogue around that at this point. That's likely to progress over the remainder of this calendar year.
So the evaluation reports on the 7 areas of the system, that's not the review, is it? There was reference to an evaluation report on the 7 areas.
Senator,
yeah.
I suspect you're referring to the Commonwealth Environmental Water monitoring programs where we monitor 7 areas.
Yes, and you were hoping to be able to finish it late this year. So I was interested in progress on those. And for Mr Reynolds, there was system operation reviews, your words.
Yes, so
that's what you're referring to, and then I'll come back to you, Mr.
Yes, so at the end of any significant flooding event, we prepare an internal review of our flood operations.
Yes.
That document is substantially complete, not quite finalised. That will then be considered by what's called our Independent Review of River Operations Group. They assess our performance in delivering our river operations function every year, but after a flood there's a specific piece of work they do. That will commence in late July, that review, and be finalised sort of by the end of September.
Right, so, okay. So is it a public document when it's been received?
A summary of the River Operations Review Group's work is published on our website once it's completed.
Yeah. Just quickly, Dr Banks, I know we're short on time, just an overview of what's come out of the evaluation and any significant impacts that you're aware of at this point in time on the Murray Mouth and marine life. Without going in great length.
Yeah, so we're not focusing on the marine life so much because that's outside sort of our remit, but in terms of the Coorong, there has been monitoring undertaken, and that's sort of the anecdotal observations that have been provided to us indicate that there's wide and ongoing positive sort of ecosystem responses, particularly the rupia and other seagrasses in that sort of area.